Okay, now I want to show you something completely different. The VS-2480 has 24 phrase pads and a 24-track phrase sequencer.
What's up? You got your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe, because today we're going to be talking about the Roland VS-2480 hard disk recorder. What had happened was... So the year is 2001. Nasty Nas released his bone-crushing track Ether, aimed at Brooklyn's finest super rapper, Jay-Z. In the song, Nas said, "Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, Dame Dummy, oh, let me guess, you're big and he's puffy. Ew." This was crazy. This was monumental. Hip-hop since Ether has never been the same. The word ether has now been put in pop culture as a regular term everyone uses now. Also in 2001, the company DigiDesign took the classic Pro Tools software and combined it with their new 001 audio interface for smooth, easy recording. And the trend-sending company Microsoft released what was probably the greatest operating system ever. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Windows XP. 2001 was an incredible year, and Roland wanted in on the action. Now, in previous years, Roland released their VS-1680 and the VS-1880 hard disk recorders, which did their job incredibly well. Customers all over the world were happy that they could record their bands and even their personal demos in the comfort of their bedrooms. But the home hard disk recording phenomenon did not start with Roland. It actually goes back, way back, to about the early 1990s. The home studio started to be more prevalent in the music production space. With companies like Alesis releasing the ADAT machine, the home producer now had the ability to make their own hits, or at least their own demos. Now they were able to create their own demos in the privacy of their home for an affordable price. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it also wasn't like $30,000, which was the price of some of these professional consoles out there at the time. Thousands of producers enjoyed being able to make their own demos and their own tapes in the comfort of their own home. Rumors had it that as early as 1999, there was a user group that was feeding Roland all the information about all the wonderful features that they would want in this VS-2480. The guys were saying that they wanted a ton of effects, that they wanted computer connectivity, that they wanted all the bells and whistles on this unit. But Roland had enough. They had enough. They were going to change the game. They could see it. They seen it like a zenith. And in 2001, Roland decides to release what would probably be their greatest hard disk the greatest hard disk recorder ever built. And this was the Roland VS-2480. You're getting the world's first self-contained 24-bit 96 kilohertz digital recording. You're getting 24-track playback, 16-track simultaneous recording with 384 virtual tracks. You're getting a 64-channel fully automated digital mixer with 17 motorized faders. You're getting a 24-voice phrase sequencer for triggering and arranging your samples. You're getting a VGA monitor output with incredible graphics. You're getting mouse-based waveform editing and control. You're getting up to 8 stereo digital effect processors. It comes with 64 channels of automated digital mixing. And if you choose to update, you're getting an optional CD burner. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, this was it. This was Roland's official stamp of approval. When the VS-2480 came out, producers couldn't wait. They couldn't wait. They had the Birdman hand rub. They couldn't wait to get their hands on this unit. You see, even though DAWs like Pro Tools was out and Reason and everything like that, and yeah, a lot of producers loved this new technology that was bringing us into 2000s. But there was still some things about those DAWs, those creepy little DAWs that musicians just didn't trust. During this time, computers crashed a lot. You would be online finishing your paper that you gotta bring in for class tomorrow that was due last week, but the teacher luckily was nice enough to give you an extension. And just when you're finishing that last sentence of the last paragraph of that 10-page paper, boom, the blue screen of death. Oh my gosh, all that work up in flames. You gotta start from the beginning again. At this time, a lot of musicians rather trusted hardware than software or anything on their computer. They didn't want to be in Glaston doing a live performance, then all of a sudden their computer crashes and the show is ruined. So people really trusted in these hard disk recorders because whether you like them or not, the hard disk recorders were reliable. When you turned them on and used it, it will work. And boy, did the 2480 work. Matter of fact, it was a workhorse. It had a patch bay. You know, like right now, the modular guys, they love the patch bay to, you know, mix their reverb with another synth sound to another effect. You had all that patch bay mixing on the VS-2480. You had a mastering suite where you could take the multi-track recording and mix it to stereo. The VS-2480 had automation. DAWs didn't even have automation at this time. Most DAWs did not have automation in 2001 and 2002 and all that stuff. The VS-2480 had automation. The VS-2480 had the VGA output that connected it to your computer monitor so that you can work with the unit just using the mouse. Can anyone say machine? And the layout was even dope. You had the transport controls on the top, all the tracks, the mute sections and everything to the left. It was basically like your classic DAW that you see now. One of the amazing features on the Roland VS-2480 was the phrase sequencer, as far as how it worked, the workflow of the phrase sequencer. Usually in hard disk recorders, the sequencer sucks. You record something and it's kind of difficult for you to link it to another part you recorded. But the Roland VS-2480's phrase sequencer was a little different. Now, what it allowed you to do was, let's say if you had a 2-bar drum loop on one track, and then, you know, you get a 2-bar bass line on another track, and a 2-bar string sequence on the third track, and an outro. What the phrase sequencer allowed you to do was press the button on top of each of the tracks in the order you want them to play back. So if the drums is on track 1, press the button on top of track 1, followed by the button on track 3, where your bass line is, followed by the button on track 2 where your strings on, followed by the button on track 4 where your outro is. Press those buttons quickly in that order, like 1, 3, 4, 4 or something like that. And when you press play on the VS-2480, it will play back those sequences in that order. That, my friends, is amazing. Producers loved the 2480. It was like their little secret, their little dirty secret. It's kind of like, remember when you first brought a dirty magazine when you went to that corner store with the new stand and they would have all the porn magazines in the back, you know, next to the Mad magazines and everything like that? You're like 14 years old, and after school you run to that corner store and you casually walk to the back after you picked up the Wall Street Journal and acted like you were reading things on stocks? You know, the store owner knows what you're doing, but you know, they're letting you slide because they're like, he's a young dude. He just wants to get a dirty magazine. And you're in the back over there and you're looking at the magazine and you're about to reach for one. Then an old lady walks into the store and goes to the back next to you. And you grab the first magazine, cover it by putting the Wall Street Journal on top of it, putting it on the counter with a pack of Skittles and telling the store owner, yeah, I'll take these. And the store owner's like, all right, that'll be about $7.50. And you just throw the 20 on the counter and just start walking out with the magazine. The store owner is yelling, hey, you forgot your change, you forgot. And you're like, don't worry about it. You're good, keep it. That's how much of a secret producers were keeping the Roland VS-2480 from their counterparts. Now, when the Roland VS-2480 came out, it was about $3,000. And if you got it with all the bells and whistles, all the components that you needed, it could run you about $4,500. Now, this was an expensive unit, but believe it or not, many musicians around the world purchased it. The 2480 is weird in the fact that it kind of came at a strange time. It really came during the DAW explosion, so it kind of was late. But in the same breath, with all of the innovative features that it had as far as automation, a mastering suite on the unit, if you updated it, you got the plugins. It even lets you do third-party plugins if you got the update. This was a beast, and I didn't really hear too much negative things about it. I mean, some folks didn't like the fact that you had to buy some of the other parts. If you got the original, like the additional 40 gig hard drive or the CD writer or something, some folks didn't like the fact that you had to buy other compartments of it. But on the later units that came out, they added those compartments standard on the unit. Other than that, most people like the Roland VS-2480. It had that classic, warm, great bottom Roland sound that people love, and most producers was happy with this unit. So yeah, that's the Roland VS-2480. What had happened was... So this is your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to go down low in the description and get that Soundmaster sample pack, where I'm giving you the dopest, illest sounds for you to use in your projects. And no, folks, I don't mean the pink houses. And with it, you get a free introduction video on how to get nice with the keyboard. Have you always wondered how to play the piano? Have you always wondered, how can I play these incredible melodies that I'm hearing all the time? Well, you get an additional video with the sample pack. So this is your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe. And I'm signing off.